Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks. And I know I said I probably wasn't going to do this one, but I've decided to in the end anyway. So we're going to do it. Well, I'm going to be taking a look at the Fighting Girlfriend T-34. Now, I'm going to try and keep it sort of as quick as possible, because basically it is just a fully upgraded T-34 using the top 76mm rather than the 57mm. So there's not really a great deal to say about it in those respects, because it is, well, just the same as the Tech Tree one in many ways. But there is one or two, two main differences that I can think of. But we'll start by having a quick look at, well, at its sort of bits and bobs. So you get the same 500 horsepower engine like you would on a fully upgraded T-34. Now its gun is listed or shown as the 76mm F-34. Now, it is the same model as that one. You know, the actual look of the gun, it's shorter barreled. And I've got another T-34 just to show you the difference. But it's got the performance of the top 76mm gun from it, which I think is the S-54. Which is 10.53 rounds a minute, 125 pen, 115 damage. 156 on your premium, 39, 165 on your HE, and then 2.9 aiming time, which is pretty poor, and a 0.41 accuracy, which isn't great, but it's kind of average for the tier. The German tanks generally are a bit more accurate than that, but I think that's about the same as the M1A1 on the Sherman, if I remember rightly. Although I could be slightly wrong with that one. You get a 42-degree hull traverse, 46 on your turret, and a 365 meter view range. Now, that's, you know, the gun on this one. That's a normal T-34 with that top 76mm gun. I do just want to check what the hull traverse is, though. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, you get 49 degrees on the turret traverse on a standard T-34, and what did I say it was on that? 46, so that's slightly worse, but the hull traverse is slightly better. But the other, one of the main differences is the fact that it has no commander's hatch. You may be looking at the turret and thinking it doesn't look quite right. And yeah, no commander's hatch there. As you can see, there's a regular T-34, big commander's hatch on top. Here's the Fighting Girlfriend, no commander's hatch on top. Which is quite nice. And another difference is actually in the armour. We'll have a look at that one in a moment. Now, it also lists this as the stock turret as well. It shows it sort of when it says which turret it is, the stock one. But it's actually not. It's got the shape of the fully upgraded one, obviously just minus the commander's hatch. Skill-wise, well, you get a special crew with it. Basically, the story behind this is that the Maria, I can't pronounce the second name. Basically, her husband died during the war, and she sold just about everything she owned and got all the savings and everything else, and basically wanted to donate a tank to the Soviet army on two conditions. One, that she could name the tank, and two, that she could drive it. And apparently was known for sort of getting out of the tank against orders to fix it under heavy fire and what have you. So she basically earned, I think, the highest bravery award in the Soviet army at the time, but it was unfortunately posthumously, because she died from wounds received while fixing the tank, I think it says. But yeah, so I mean, that's it. So skill-wise, well, it's still a pretty basic crew. When you do buy it, though, she does have track mechanic already trained up. You could just swap that out. It's not, you know, it's not one of these special skills that you can't get once you've got rid of them. So you could just swap that out for 6 cents. I've chosen not to, just left it on. It just gives a bit of a bonus, really, when you do get tracked in this thing. And when you're top tier, sometimes some of the lower tiers, that's all they can do is track you, because even though the frontal armour on these isn't brilliant, the sloping makes it very effective, especially against, like I say, lower tier stuff. Equipment wise, I've just gone for your standard, well, my sort of standard medium tank equipment, which is coated optics, gun ram, and gun lane drive, unless I can fit a vertical stabilizer. So yeah, that's basically just what I've gone for. Supplies wise, quite cheap. 80 for your standard rounds, 2,400 for your APCR, and 48 for your HE. And yeah, that's really it. So module wise, like I say, same sort of engine size, 16.95 horsepower per tonne power to weight ratio, 55 km/h top speed, 20 in reverse. Lots of engine components and gas tanks to sort of, or petrol tanks, fuel tanks, whatever you want to call them, to be hit in these, unfortunately. So you do have to be a bit wary about that. Concealment on this is 0.29 and 0.22. You can put camouflage on here, so it doesn't get any bonuses for that. You get 8 degrees of gun depression and 26 of elevation, which is quite nice. Let's have a look. Tracks. Now, terrain resistance, not brilliant, but not bad, pretty average. 1.3 and 1.9. You do kind of notice it sometimes in this, but I seem to remember that from in the T-34 itself, but it's been such a long time since I've been in one. Turret on top, radio down in the corner of the hull there, the front right hand corner. Ammo racks just underneath the turret, a larger one on the left hand side of the tank, smaller one on the right, and then there's the big one on the floor of the hull, so they are quite tricky to hit in these. And the crew members, you've got 2 down in the front, driver and machine gunner, or hull machine gunner, and then the commander, who will probably double up as a loader as well, along with the gunner up in the turret. But like I say, the nice thing about this is it doesn't have that commander's hatch. And coupled with this other little bonus on the turret, which you don't get on a normal T-34, it can make it quite effective hull down, especially when you're top tier. So, where are we? Armour, 45 on the front, 40 on the sides, 40 on the rear, 52 on the front and sides of the turret, 45 on the rear. Oh, and bonuses, nearly forgot. 48% silver and a 45% XP bonus. So the hull, like I say, just the same as a normal T-34, but the turret is where it is a little bit different. You've always got that thicker strip across the front, which is actually 80mm, where the upper and lower glacis meet. That's on the normal T-34 as well. But on this one, you can see that 80mm strip around the turret front as well. So not only have you got your rounded gun mantle, which is your 52mm, you've got that strip of 80mm around there as well. So, like I said, that coupled with the lack of commander's hatch can make this quite effective hull down when you're top tier. And occasionally, if you're at the right range, when you're not top tier as well, because, well, I say effective for maybe bouncing a few shots or surviving, because it's a small turret as well. So not only will they sort of struggle to hit, you've got a rounded gun mantle, you've got that thicker, slightly sloped turret front as well. So it just sort of adds up to be a nice little bonus on the turret. But I mean, I'll be honest, I couldn't really see why you'd want to get one of these unless you really like the T-34. You really, you sort of, you, like I say, you really like the T-34 and you want a premium version. Or if you're a tank collector, you want to get them all. Or really, the only other thing I can think of for getting one of these is because I mean, no offence to anybody, but I'm not up on a lot of these sort of stories from World War II, so I'd never heard of Maria before. But if you had heard of her and you wanted this tank, then it's one of those ones. But having said all that, I've been having fun in it because the T-34 can be a fun little tank. Not everybody likes it, but I'm sure those of you that do like the T-34 will know what I mean. And I have been having some good fun in it. And like I say, the lack of the commander's hatch, that extra armor on the front of the turret, it just makes it a nice little bonus. Is it worth what they're asking for it? Well, that's for you to decide, really. But with this, you know what you're going to be getting. If you've been in the T-34 and you've used that top 76mm, you know what you're going to be getting with this tank. And if you're not sure, then just or you can't remember, buy back the T-34, stick that gun on it, have a little run around in it and see what you think. I think, yeah, I won't mind a premium version of that to have a bit of fun in, earn a bit of money and train up crews. But again, there's still that part of me that is slightly disappointed because it is essentially a reskin, apart from those slight differences. So I don't know. I am very split on this one, down the middle. Like I say, it doesn't make it a bad tank because the T-34 is not, not particularly a bad tank. It's, fairly nice little medium tank. Is it a good premium? That's where the questions sort of start coming in and the doubt again. But anyway, enough of me rambling on. Let's get into the replays and see how it actually handles. Right, so here we are for the first of the replays, and again I've tried to use sort of just average matches, just because that's what most people will experience. I mean, I'm not trying to say that I'm a Unicum player or anything like that sort of standard, but generally most people out there are average players, or well, they wouldn't be average if there weren't more of them, if you see what I mean. So yeah, that's what I've tried to use, and like I said in the garage, I've got very, very mixed feelings over this tank, and that is because, like I said before, essentially, at heart, it is just a reskin of a fully upgraded T-34 with the fully, the top 76mm gun. Other than the differences, obviously, that I've already mentioned with the thicker turret front and the sort of lack of the commander's hatch. But in another respect, it's sort of honouring Maria, and again, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the second name. But like I say, it's honouring her with this tank. It's an actual historical tank. This is it. Whether, I mean, I'm not, I've been reading up on tanks and what have you, and I'm not sure if the T-34 had 500 horsepower engine in real life. That's something I'm not entirely sure of. I seem to remember, I think it did, but I could be wrong. But yeah, it's yeah. So like I say, mixed feelings. Not a bad tank because the T-34 isn't, but not a good premium. And I know this is obviously the Fighting Girlfriend review, but later this week, I think Friday, there is the Senshi, I think it is Senshi STA2, and Heavy Tank number 6. And the Senshi STA2, as far as I'm aware, is just an STA2 with camo on it, and possibly a canvas gun mantle cover. I think it might have on, might be the slight difference. But yeah, I'm not a happy bunny about that one. I think it's, I don't know. I mean, there's a few people saying about the amount of premiums that are coming out, and in a way I do kind of agree. Tanks that should be rare and have been rare, very rare on the PC. Type 59 springs to mind. I've seen that a lot over the last year on sale. And on PC, very, very rare. In fact, I don't even think it's on sale ever. And I think the only way you can get it is by winning it in various, when they do giveaways and that sort of thing. And there are, like I say, these rare tanks. They just seem to be coming up all the time. Panzer V4, that's just been in the store again, and that's supposed to be, a rare tank. And in a way, I mean, in one way, these sort of resales are good, but they really need to make it clear which ones are going to stay rare and which ones are going to be coming back fairly often. But in a way, I do think it's good because there might be people that wanted it at the time, couldn't afford it, and now they've got a chance to pick it up if they want it. But in the other respect, it does, like I say, take away somewhat from the sort of exclusive. I don't want to say exclusivity, but I can't think of a better word for it, if you see what I mean. And it takes it away from that tank. It used to be when I first started. I mean, it's not been out that long on PlayStation 4. It only came out, was it last January or something? So, yeah, but I don't know. Like I say, I think they really need to give people time to catch up. It's alright maybe doing one new one a month or something like that, but I think that the way that they're releasing them at the moment, the rate of it is, it's not giving people that want to get them or want to collect them or whatever a chance to sort of keep up with them in a way. But the other thing is these reskins. There have been quite a few reskins recently, and this one, oh, as you can see, by the way, I'm platooned up with my lovely wife in these. Sorry, I've not really spoke much about the actual tank itself. I'll try and fix that in the next one. But yeah, I think these reskins, they really need to sort of look at and start doing something a bit more different, a bit new. I mean, I don't want to go into it too much, but the Senshi, for instance, they've done that one because there's an op coming on to do with the Japanese, I think, Fight for Your Academy, and I think it may be something to do with that, but I feel that that's a bit of a wasted opportunity. They've got Heavy Tank number 6 coming at the same time, a new tank to console. Admittedly, it's a tier 6 Tiger, which I've said before, but it's in the Japanese line. We've not had it on console before. Why not do something with that instead of just releasing a plain one and then a reskinned STA2? But I'll go over a bit more of that when I do the Senshi review, because I will be doing that one. And again, nothing against the STA2, because the STA2 is quite a nice premium tank, especially since it received a buff to its penetration and the fact that it still has preferential matchmaking. So it's nothing against the STA2, but it's against the Senshi. Again, if you get what I mean. A bit like I was with the Huntsman. Not a bad tank, not a good premium. Same with this. Not a bad tank, not a particularly good premium, in my opinion. But anyway, I'll get to that at a later date. I don't know, I might even do a random destruction and just have a bit of a go on about these things. And, you know, I don't like to moan too much. I mean, it's a game at the end of the day. And, you know, everybody that plays this, most of them are going to have, you know, you ask 1,000 people, you're probably going to get 800 different opinions on what needs to change and what needs to stay the same in this game. And I just try and take it as it is and enjoy it as it is. You know, we can make suggestions that things need changing, but at the end of the day, if Wargaming don't want to make those changes, they're not going to make those changes. And you either enjoy it or you don't. And I just try and take it as it is and not let these things bother me too much. Because I do still enjoy the game, although recently there has been just a huge downturn in team play, I seem to see. And I must admit, and people, you know, probably going to come, even I have succumbed to this, and there have been matches where I've not been playing for the benefit of the team in some respects, and I don't know. I don't know if it's sort of, I suppose when you keep trying to help people that are sort of pinned down or whatever, and you go in to try and lend a bit of help, and they bugger off and leave you to die as they run away, instead of, you know, lending their support because you've gone and lent theirs. You can only do that so many times and have that happen before you think, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to do it for myself then. But that's not what it is. It's a team game at the end of the day. And over the last couple of days I have been trying to play a lot more team orientated and you know, that sort of thing, and trying to do it more for the team. But there's been quite a few matches where it's just, you can tell that people are just out for themselves, trying to get their XP or whatever for the op, and not so much doing it for the team. And the irony of that, of course, is that if they just played it for the team, then they would probably win more and get more XP in turn. There you go. But it's just one of those things. And the maps, although we've seen the new ones recently, although I've never been on Razanai yet, I think we do need those other maps back, because I'm getting a little bit tired sometimes of seeing the same maps over and over and over again. And I know they were removed because there were basically performance issues with one of the consoles, and they just really need to get those back into rotation soon. But anyway, again, something I'll try and cover all this, and I'll try and do a video or something later in the week. And try and talk a bit more about Fighting Girlfriend now in it, but there's not really much I could say. I said a lot of it in the garage. I said it at the beginning, it's a T-34, doesn't mean it's a bad tank, doesn't mean it's a great premium. This one is actually, I must admit, I did buy this one. This one is my own tank, it's not on loan. This one is my own. My wife basically picked one up. You know, I don't mind I quite like the T-34. I thought it was a nice little tier 5 tank, so I, you know, just thought, yeah, why not? If I've got one that I can train a crew up in and you know, earn a bit of extra silver at the same time, why not? So I did like this one. There's been quite a few premiums I've not been purchasing recently, because of what they are. I've got tanks that are just so similar, but yeah, I mean, here we are, like I say, Fighting Girlfriend. I know I keep saying it, but there's not much to say. Like I said in the garage bit, if you've not been through the T-34, which, you know, a lot of you will have, then if you're close to it, maybe try and grind to it. If you want to see what this one's like, anyone who's been through it or in it now, stick the top 76mm on and you will have a damn good idea of what this plays like. But again, and like I said in the garage, this does excel more in a hold down position than a standard T-34 does, because of that thicker turret front, because of the lack of commander's hatch. And this T-150, well, actually, when we first approached him, my wife, she's been sort of doing the backup, I've been spotting a bit. And, yeah, when we first came upon this T-150, it looked as though it was AFK or AFP, whatever you want to say, away from pad, away from keyboard. But yeah, it did look as though he was. And then, as I was firing at him, he turned his turret to look at me, and it's like, nope, he's there. He's playing, and he's unfortunately, I think, at this point managed to kill... Yeah, he's managed to kill my wife. And now I'm on quite low health, so I've got to be quite wary here. And just trying to keep out of his way and put shots in where I can. And just trying to get away there, get a bit of something in between us, so that I can come back at him and try and get the shots in. While he's distracted, possibly. Now, one of the things that does sort of irk me about this tank, and about this gun in particular, yeah, I'd say the gun, not the tank, is its dispersion values are quite bad. Its aim time is quite long as well, and the accuracy is pretty poor. And that can let you down, and it has let me down a few times. Sometimes it behaves and goes exactly where you want it to, and you know, it's almost like you feel like you can't miss. Other times it's the complete opposite and you feel like you cannot hit. And again, you know, I'll just try and give you my opinions on the tank. I'm not saying, like I've said many times, I'm not saying go out and buy this. It's up to you, it's your money, it doesn't make a difference to me whether you buy it or not. You know, I don't get paid by wargaming. I do this, I enjoy the game, I enjoy doing it, I enjoy talking to you guys. I apologise that I've not been as vocal in comments for a while now, and I want to change that, and I've been trying to change that over the last couple of days as well. I've been trying to answer more comments and get back to you guys. It's a slippery slope to fall into. It just sort of started because I wasn't feeling particularly well, and then it was busy, and then it just seemed to be that I just wasn't doing it. And you know, I kept trying to read the comments and answer ones in videos and that sort of thing, but you guys deserve better. And you know, I'm going to try and answer as many comments as I can. It was one of the things that I really enjoyed about making videos, interacting with you guys. But so yeah, I'm going to do better. But yeah, with this match, it's not been too bad. Quite nice. Heading back to cap to try and take down the Hellcat that has just been taken down. And all we've got now is an AT2. There's somebody in cap. But this one, yeah, this one's going to be a win. It's just whether we can take this guy down before the match ends. Now, I was going to go originally for a tracking shot to try and help out a bit. Keep him facing the wrong direction. And obviously I'll get some nice assisted damage from it as well. But then he turned and gave me his side, so I'm just going to try and put shots in from here. I'm on very low health. One from him and I'm done. So I'm not getting any closer. And there's the match. But there you go, Fighting Girlfriend T-34. I know I've said it before, and probably overselling it, but it is just a fully upgraded T-34 minus the Commander's hatch. That's it, basically. Like I say, doesn't mean it's a bad tank, but it certainly doesn't mean that it's a good premium. So there you go. Anyway, sorry about that. I've talked about it a little bit in the garage and a little bit in the videos, but I was going on about other stuff as well. Stuff that I've been wanting to sort of say for a bit, and either not a chance I've not been putting a video up, or just kept slipping my mind. But anyway, I should be back with another video hopefully later on. So until then, take care of that, and I'll see you next time. See you later.